Cool. Hi, my name is Heinz. I'm going to be doing a webinar just on battery and importing some samples into it and kind of creating your own drum kit from scratch. So, I was just busy recording using this microphone. This is not the mic picking up my voice. But what I've done is I've recorded a tube, some paper clips in a little tin, and a ping pong ball. And basically why I'm doing is just to show you how easy it is to actually record your own samples and then bring it back into Pro Tools and kind of have your own sound of drum kit. So let me quickly show you what I've got going over here. If I open up this, I've got all the files, they're already edited down, and what I'm going to do is let me just get you a track so you can actually hear these samples. So I'm gonna use this track over here. Let's get rid of those files that are already on there. Gonna unmute this. This should now, you should hear this. Let me just check. Yeah, this is sending out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab these files, select over them, and I'm just gonna drop them into my from my clips list. Just click on the clips list at the top over here and just say timeline drop order left to right, so they don't all add onto new tracks, they add after each other, left to right. So what I'm going to do, grab them and drop them, and let's zoom in, see what we've got going. So these are the previous samples that I've recorded. But what I'll do is let me just shift them apart for you so you can actually hear them properly. Nope. Shift them apart. There we go. Next one. Another one. Alright, and the first one. So, first one, that is in the ping pong ball. That is our snare shaker. That, also our snare shaker, which is this over here. Paper clips. Next one, this is actually a little headphone pooch, so that works well. Same for the next one, you can actually zip ringing there. And then the last one is our tube. So all of this kind of just sounds random at the moment, but what we're going to take a look at is actually editing this down and changing the sound within battery. So if you take a look over here, I'm going to mute this track. If you take a look, I have a battery track already loaded and it's already got a kit loaded, but now we want to create our own kit. So on my desktop, I have a folder over here with these edited down samples, and what I'm going to do, drop down arrow, file, new kit. So it's going to ask me, are you sure you want to create a new one? Yes. And drop down arrow again, and what we're going to do now is go cell matrix, size, and all I'm going to do is just kind of create a smaller grid to work on, just because I don't have that many samples to work with. So we've got this over here, and what I'm going to do now, so I'm not going to grab the audio from within Pro Tools, but rather what I'll do is open this up. Where we go? Cool. So I've got this, open up the sample folder, and I'm going to grab my tube kick and I'm gonna add it in there. So that's just muted. Let's unmute that, and that is then our newly created sample. So first off, there's a little ring at the end which I'm gonna get rid of. Nice. Get it a bit closer to the beginning, and what I can do now is I can just slightly detune this. So let's start with a few semitones. Let's do 4. That's already nice and deep. Go a bit lower, that's 8 semitones, and cool. So let's start seeing if we can add in another sound over here. So that is then our kick. Up next, let's add in our shaker snare. Drop that on the second one. I'm gonna trim it down just so it starts right on that, and we can trim the end down just so it doesn't ring for too long. Okay, we can try and detune it, see what it sounds like, but I think actually it sounds better higher. Yeah, we could definitely use that. Maybe instead of using this as a snare, we could probably end up using this like something like a yeah, something like a shaker maybe. But let's keep it there for now. Version 2 of this, I'm going to grab that along, bring that back in. And I'm going to increase the pitch of this just a bit. So that's 4 semitones. Maybe a bit higher. 6. Yeah, let's do 6. So I've got that over there. Trim it down. Nice. Okay, so next up, our tap. And you can see this is really actually quite simple to do. This works maybe as a good tom sound, but I might have a better idea for this. So I'm going to get rid of the sample for now. So let's say, where are we going? Delete cell. Yes. Okay. So I've got this tube kick, which is not sounding very kicky, but quite deep. So what I can do is go to our editor tab, and you'll see that you have the actual sample over here. So what I'm going to do is grab that tap and just drop it in here as well. So let's get rid of that one. Added an extra one. Let's say delete layer. Okay, and now it's playing both of those at the same time. Now this one is slightly lower in volume, so let's have it trigger at a different stage. So what's happening now, it's triggering both of these sounds at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both, not select both, I'm going to trim this down. I've got this one, I've got this one. Let's change the volume on this one. So I'm adding some gain to them just so both of them sound balanced between the two. That's getting a bit more punch in it. Let's grab this file again, and I think actually this works well. So what I'm going to do now is command shift click, sorry, on both, right click, and I'm going to say, where's that option now? Set velocity crossfades. So basically what happens now is, if I'm playing a lower velocity, it'll only play the bottom half of the note. If I play a higher velocity, it'll play both. So, alright, so I've got that. Snare shaker, another one. Let's add in our other option in here as well. Let's add in the ping pong. And let's add in a tap. No, we've already got the tap zip. That's the next one we want to add in. Trim it down. Trim the end off as well. Alright. If we go back to our main page, we can see that there's an envelope section, a pitch envelope section, and we've also got a compressor and filter section. So there's a lot to kind of play around with and start creating your own unique sound with. Let's try and add some reverb to this tap zip. It's quite nice. Let's try a bit of reverb on the snare sound. Bit more maybe. Next one, add some reverb to that. I'm not going to add reverb to the tube kick. And the ping pong, actually let's add some delay. Bit more. Alright. So I've got that going. Let's actually now take a look at what this MIDI loop will sound like using these sounds. So okay, so let's open that app and let's actually now just start shifting some of these notes around just so we can actually see where our sounds are triggering from. So that is then that. These don't have any allocators to them, so let's bring them down. We can bring those onto our ping pong. Okay, and let's see what else we've got. I'm gonna grab those. Let's try the first one maybe. Let's try these, see if there's another sound. Cool, and basically I can keep going at this forever. But yeah, that's a real easy way of actually grabbing just a few things you have lying around, recording it, bringing it into Pro Tools, edit it down, drop it into Battery, and then saving it as a new kit. So before we finish, let's just take a look at saving it as a kit. This is something that sometimes could potentially go wrong. It's quite simple to avoid. Drop down arrow, say File, Save Kit As. And all you need to know is that you need to add patch and samples. If you don't add this, you will automatically lose all the samples that you've now added in. So I'm going to label this as Heinz Test Kit. Save. And there you go. It's as simple as that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Cheers.